Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the BTDY Racing Series live here on VSPEED. It is a pleasure to be back with you in the 2025 year. And we're at tonight at the Lady in Black, a track of many names, but it is good to be here at the Lady in Black for Throwback night, for the Throwback 180 here at BTDY. And man, it is great to be back with everybody here. I'm Alec Martinez, and joining me in the booth tonight is Logan Thurkeld, also running color, and is my color commentator and production behind the scenes. Logan, good to be back with you, man. It's Throwback night, and it's at the Lady in Black. One name more iconic duo, in my opinion. I don't think you can. And what a race we have in store for us tonight.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot name a better duo than those two right there. So we're excited to be here. I missed you last week, Alec. We had Adam up here in the booth for our race there at Michigan, but glad to have you back here for the first time in 2025. Let's take a quick look at our schedule, see what we got lined up. As we mentioned here, Darlington tonight, the Throwback night. That's obviously the 8th race of the series so far. We have 5 more in the regular season, including tonight. Martinsville, Mid-Ohio, New Hampshire, and Charlotte are up next. 2 more no bull challenges for the regular season as well. We can take that right into our point standing, where Jeff Wright has a massive lead right now. 5 wins on the season for him, followed up by Keith Mayato, AJ Stravato in the top 3, Ray Massey there with 189 points on the season, Chris Samard, Ronnie Osmer, Noah Mahalski, Brody Hayes, Justin Carey, and James Loveland are your top 10 in points going into tonight. Alec, do you want to tell us about tonight's track a little bit?
Yeah, we'll give it our run here at tonight's track. Darlington Raceway, 1.36 miles in length, 2.19 kilometers, 24 degrees of banking. You're going to be right up against that wall in turns 1 and 2. Maybe be able to search around in the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. And it opened in September of 1950, the second oldest racetrack on NASCAR's current schedule of, let's say, behind what will be the race next week at Martinsville Speedway. But Darlington Raceway, so synonymous. You're going to have to be up by the wall. This track, and we're already hearing it from drivers in practice, it's hot, it's slick, and we're going to see these drivers have to wheel and deal all night, and that's going to be, I think, good for us, good for the fans watching, and we're going to see these drivers give it their all, but it's going to be a handful. We're talking about sliding tires. This track is synonymous for tearing up tires as well. It's going to be a show to watch, and as qualifying is just concluding, I believe, you know, our race winner, we've only had 3 throughout the season. Can somebody beat and top Jeff Wright at a track he's been pretty dominant at as well?
He absolutely has, but as you mentioned, drivers are taking the grid. Let's get right into it. Alec, what do you say?
I think that's a great idea. Let's get into our starting lineup for the BTDY Throwback 180. How about Noah Mahalski? Gonna roll it off the field, lead the field to green here in the L3 car. One of his best career starts in BTDY, maybe his first career pole, if I'm not mistaken. And the L3 gonna roll off on the inside to his outside. On outside pole is Brody Hayes in the 37. Behind them, row number 2, a pair of our winners this season. AJ Stravato in the 33, the Italian Stallion, winner at Nashville Super Speedway, and the winner last week, and the dominant driver so far with 5 wins on the season, Jeff Wright, rolling off in 4th. In 5th is rookie Michael Stroll in the 38 car. And to his outside, it's Chris Samard in the 77, rolling off 3rd row on the outside. Then Caleb Weekly in the 7 car will be rolling off in 7th, with Ronnie Osmer in a wonderful Tony Stewart Kaboom car from 2005, and we'll keep you updated on paint schemes and throwback schemes throughout the evening. And the 20 Osmer, one of the best ones, starting in 8th. In 9th is going to be Dennis Faircloth, who's racing with Seth Hatchell's paint scheme, and a great tribute and a great gesture from Dennis Faircloth in the 80, rolling off in 9th, and Ray Massey in the Jimmy Spencer Throwback rolling off in 10th.
Come up behind our top 10, B-Speed's very own Bradley Cooper in the 5 machine. Been a while since we've seen that car on track here with BTDY. Next to the 46 of Dallas Sullivan. 13th will take Cody Atkins in the 55. Next to Jace Coley in the 65 in 14th. James Loveland in the 02 will start out here in 15th. Next to Alan Dice in the 22. 17th belongs to Jeremiah Vincent in the 3, next to Max Cost in the 63. To round out our top 20, we have the 21 of Justin Carey next to the 2 of Michael Jones.
And 21st is Jordan Traz, who looks like he might not be taking the green flag, but he is starting 21st. Zach Smith will roll off in 22nd. In the final row, the 12th row of the field, is going to be Kyle Payne and Todd Giles Jr. in the 14th, as the pace car will, in fact, pull off the racetrack. And the field of 23 cars will be led by the 03 of Noah Mahalski on the inside, AutoZone Chevrolet. 135 laps, 180 miles underway for the Darlington Raceway. Going into turn 3, pole sitter might not lead the first lap of this race. It might be outside pole sitter Brody Hayes off of turn 4. Noah Mahalski follows right in the tire tracks of the 37, but it's Hayes who gets the nod at the line. And something to maybe monitor throughout this day is the sun setting here in the Darlington, South Carolina area, virtual Darlington, South Carolina area. But look at the clouds behind the racetrack. It seems a little bit dark and a little bit dull outside, so that could affect the track temperature that we see, and could be completely different from what these drivers practiced in.
It absolutely could, and you can see it just on the track cameras, just how hazy it is out here tonight. Not quite a fog, but just enough to help keep that sunlight that is remaining off of the track, keep it a little bit cooler here tonight. Right now we're looking about 81 degrees on the track surface, only 77 degrees up there in the air, so it's about 1-to-1 here which will definitely help out with the tire saving strategy throughout tonight's race. But it's all going to come down to how much these drivers have to scrub through these corners, as we have some side-by-side action back here, starting with Chris Simard and Ronnie Osmer.
Osmer gets the spot from Simard behind him. Behind the 77, who now falls back to second, is the 7 car of Caleb Weekly in that X-Spot Chevrolet Camaro. And then behind him is the Jim Spencer Camel throwback of Ray Massey, who had a great finish, his best finish of the season last week at Michigan. So right now, maybe some of these drivers trying to carry that momentum into this race here from last week at Michigan to start off the new year. And as we go into what is the 8th race of the season, the playoffs coming up, or the chase for the BTDY Cup closing in slowly but shortly. And it'll be here before you know it, as Michael Stroll starting to put a little pressure on Jeff Wright, the 48, 38, on the inside of the 48, looking for 4th on the racetrack. And something we don't really talk about much, but Jeff Wright under pressure to being passed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not too often that we see Jeff Wright. Ooh, almost contact there to the left rear quarter of the 48 machine, but able to keep it off of him at 38 of Stroll. He's going to be a force to reckon with, I feel like.
He could be. Just kind of keep the tires on the long run so important here with the length of these races. You're most likely going to see these drivers try to split this race into thirds as the battle for the lead. Noah Mahalski hasn't really left Brody Hayes, and he's kind of just been on his tire tracks and right behind him this entire time.
Yes, he has. He is not letting Brody get out far at all. Brody Hayes was one of the faster drivers in the practice session. Now, at the same time, the practice session was about 15 degrees hotter on the track. It was up there in the upper 90s, so it's already cooled off quite a bit since that. So we'll have to see if Brody Hayes can pick up any more speed coming through this. It'll be interesting to see if Mahalski, the pole sitter, can do anything about it.
Wow. Jeff Wright out, got really loose there off of turn number 4. Now Stroll goes to the outside behind them. Osmer lost that spot back to Simard as Wright able to hold on position. Looks like he got some smoke down the backstretch. Is that Todd Giles Jr. in that Cornflakes car throwback there? And he looks like to be maybe out of this race with some heavy damage.
Take a quick look back here at Todd, see if we can find out what happened to him.
And Michael Jones also in pit road in the number 2. We see Giles spun on the inside wall there. Oh, yes, there's Michael Jones. And amazing that wasn't a caution.
I would have to say, just being at the back of the pack, nobody around to really bring that yellow flag out. But let's get back to our live scene here.
Yeah.
Giles coming down pit lane now. Back up towards the front here. Brody Hayes still holding off the 03 of Mahalski. Great battle already developing up front. Love to see that early on in the race. Very exciting to see how it unfolds throughout the race, and especially towards the end here.
Absolutely. It's going to be who can save tires the best as well. Who can be better on the long run. Although it is a tough place to pass, but sometimes tire life can overweight the dirty air and can really overweight really anything here in terms of handling, sometimes better than speed. We always talk about long run being the difference maker, from separating the boys from the men, as they say. And we'll see as this run goes on. Brody Hayes looking for his first win in a long time, and Noah Mahalski looking for his first win in his BTDY career. Has come very close many times, and it's looking like a really good chance. And don't count out the Italian stallion as well, AJ Stravato, not too far behind in 4th, and Jeff Wright still under fire from the 38 of Stroll and Simard as well, not too far behind them. And I want to say Jeff Wright's saving tires, but, you know, it's tough to say when you got somebody breathing down your neck.
Yeah, very tough to say as of right now. We'll just have to see how it all unfolds. Jeff Wright, always a great strategist whenever it comes to these races, whether it be fuel or tires. Surely he's got something up his sleeve here for later in the race. But I do want to make mention, obviously, we've talked about this being the Throwback 180 here tonight. Make sure to throw in your picks for your favorite paint scheme as we get on through this race. Try my best to get everybody on screen. That way you can make a good decision there as to who you'd like to see take home the prize, which I believe is $10 for the most liked paint scheme tonight.
It is, and unfortunately 2 or 3 of those drivers out of the race already. Jones sitting 2 laps down, and I think back out on the racetrack at least. And number 2, I got an old, I think that's Kurt Buschman light throwback, and Todd Giles had a cornflakes throwback. I want to say it looks very familiar, and I'll have to check on that. I know it's an early 90s, late 80s scheme for Giles, so get a shout out to him. And then Kyle Payne, a good Ken Block tribute car, and a lot of great paints. Stroll, I don't know if that's a throwback or not, but I like it. It's kind of a inverse of the Kevin Harvick scheme that ran not too long ago. And then good battle here between Jeff Wright and everybody that's going on in this race, and it's really good scheme. Now let's talk about gaggle of race cars. Coley making contact with Atkins, Loveland in the wall, Dice going by, and it's like Dallas Sullivan also getting by. A lot of good throwbacks in this little battle of cars.
Absolutely, and they were all over each other there for a second. Looking at Jace Coley right now in that 65 machine, that Herbie throwback there.
Yeah.
That's not something you see too often. Love to see the love bug on the track, although it is a Camaro, not a Beetle. But it's the thought that matters, right?
It looks good. It looks good. I like that. It's good movie. I was just thinking about that movie not too long ago, like earlier this week, actually. I was thinking about it or over the weekend, and I was like, I haven't seen that movie in a while. And Jace Cole might just make me have to watch it now, as he's under pressure now from Alan Dice and James Loveland. And just ahead of them, Dallas Sullivan has that Lego car. It's kind of a throwback. It looks throwbackish. Cody Atkins for sure a throwback. Oh, Coley gets the wall hard on
a lot of contact.
And there goes
Dice sideways.
And Dice somehow saves it off of the outside wall. Loveland shoots down to the inside and misses it. And so did the 21, who now pulls even with Loveland. That's the 21 of Carey in the Reese's machine as he gets the wall off before it earns his Darlington stripe. And Cost gets back up in line behind the Reese's 21 and tucks back in behind this. All behind Sullivan. It's about 12th to 19th on the racetrack as Cody Atkins still trying to find a way around Dallas Sullivan. And Dice did a heck of a job with an amazing save after hitting the wall. Looked like that was going to be our first caution of the evening. And it somehow wasn't.
A fantastic driving from all those drivers as Dice back into the wall. Man,
that car's probably not driving good as much as it used to. And he's got more than a Darlington stripe on it.
He absolutely does. That is an addition to the paint scheme.
And it's not one you want to have, I can tell you that. As Loveland getting by Dice, and now Carey trying to find a way around the Daytona winner this season. Justin Carey going to the inside. That's an old, I want to say Kevin Harvick throwback from the Busch Series in the early 2000s. And then Max Cost, a different looking paint scheme on his car. I think that's a throwback in that Zero machine, that 63, a more redder. Normally, we don't see Max Cost ever run red much, so it's definitely a different scheme. So it's good to see Cost throwing his name out into the ring. It looks familiar as he gets up into the wall there, and Dice has to avoid him. And good battle here on the good battles all over this racetrack, I can tell you that.
You mentioned that being very familiar, and I think I know why it's so familiar. And it's because it almost matches the 5 of Bradley Cooper. It is very close. But I think that was Max Koss paint scheme a couple years back. But we have seen him in that 63 black and blue Zero machine for most of the season already. Actually, all the season already up until this point.
VSPEED's very own Bradley Cooper. Been fortunate enough to call a lot of races. We can call some seasons with him here at BTDY. So good to see Bradley in the field and racing. And just ahead of him, obviously our hearts wing on Seth Hatchell is Dennis Fairclough doing an amazing gesture, running that Seth Hatchell scheme that we always see, the VSPEED scheme on a Chevrolet, and this time on a Toyota Supra. It looks really good. And just a shout out for Dennis, which for those that are able to sim race or just willing to donate to Seth Hatchell and his cause and what's happened to him. And we know he's a fighter, and if he's watching, Seth, we're praying for you, buddy, and we're pulling for you. And we're with you every step of the fight, man. And we got you. We got your back, brother. And hoping and wishing you the best out there. And he's doing an awesome job, Dennis. Holding steady in the top 10 here for you, Seth. And we miss you, and we look forward to seeing you back at on the virtual sim racetrack soon.
We absolutely do. Well, we've talked about a couple. Is there any cars out here, Alec, that you feel like are worthy of giving a shout out to the throwback?
I personally, I think Jace Coley's got a really good one, like we said, and Can't forget. I don't know if Caleb Weekly's just a throwback. I think it might be, and he'll have to give us the backstory to that. And obviously, the car just ahead of him as well, Ray Massey, that Camel Jimmy Spencer car, back from the late '90s, and I believe '96 he ran that car. That's a really good paint scheme. It's one of the more iconic ones that you'll see. We've seen that scheme, I think, here before. I think with Ben Bafford one year, and that is a good looking paint scheme. And obviously Ronnie Osmer, I think, a very unique, thoughtful scheme as well. We're talking about the Kaboom Home Depot car from 2005 that Osmer's got in the 20. So good schemes. I think these guys really kind of went above and beyond in their thoughtfulness of what schemes they could use.
That they did. It's nice to see the change up. You know, you see the same car every single week. It's you know who to look for. It does give that challenge out here tonight of trying to find the numbers rather than the paint scheme. But all in all, it sounds like these guys had a lot of fun putting all this together. As AJ Stravato now is caught up from Noah Mahalski up here for the second position. Jeff Wright right there in tow. So we got 3 cars under a blanket up here in the top 5.
Here comes this Italian stallion down to the bottom. Mahalski goes top. Wright tries to go a little bit higher, and Mahalski maybe not having that long run speed that we were thinking he might have here from the pole sitter, as he hasn't even led a lap after starting from the pole, and now he falls back to 4th in just 1 lap as Stravato and Wright get by, and now Hayes just 1.1 seconds up the road. We'll see this time as Stravato's a little bit cleaner air, and so does Jeff Wright. So we'll have to see, can they run down Brody Hayes over this run? And pretty soon, when are we going to see these guys pit?
Yeah, there's one thing that we didn't get to touch on there, so I'll bring that up now. Our race analysis for tonight. Obviously, you can see up there in the top left corner, we have 135 laps on the docket for tonight. Pit road speed of 45 miles an hour, so that will be a challenge in itself, getting down to that speed, not collecting a penalty whenever it is time to come in for tires. 4 tire sets available, 3 green-white checkered attempts if we need them, with our standard 80% fuel load and iRacing fix setup here for tonight.
Sure, and it's good to see that those 3 tire sets laying in the pits could become very valuable, because those really might be the only tires you're going to be able to use in this race, because most likely if we're going to split this race into thirds, you're going to want to pit right at exactly 45 laps. So if you can go any further than that, it might help you in your second, if not last, stint. But very interesting to see, as I believe we're running up on our lap car. I believe it's Kyle Payne in the 68 car, as Brody Hayes looking to find a way to get around him and lap him, and not getting maybe some dirty air from the 68. It's hurting his lap time a little bit, as Stravato's just staying about 1.2 seconds back.
A bit further back here, a little bit of a battle between Ray Massey and the 20 of Osmer. Not too terribly close there, but that is just about the closest battle that we have currently, aside from Jeff Wright and AJ Stravato. A little bit further back, we have Bradley Cooper trying to make his way around the 80. A little too close to the wall for comfort for Cooper. He's got a good pace so far. Faircloth still holding on to that top 10 position. Sullivan now creeping up on the back end of the 5 machine. See if he has anything for Bradley Cooper here. That was one thing a lot of these drivers were talking about earlier. It's so hard to pass at Darlington. You have very minimal effort areas that you can put in to create a passing opportunity. Just have to keep an eye out for those spots and see if anybody can make it happen. Not a lot of movements so far this race. Justin Carey is the biggest gainer so far. He is up 4 positions from his starting spot, sitting 15th currently. Everybody else kind of just 1 or 2 positions, or no positions.
Or negative positions at that. So, you know, not a ton of movement, at least inside the top 5. The only one's really been shuffled out of the top 3 is Mahalski, the pole sitter. But so far, the top 3 stays the same as it did 5 laps ago. And the lead has stayed about the same as it did 5 laps ago. Stravato is stuck in that second or so bubble. And Jeff Wright as well, not too far behind, stuck in about a 2-3 car lengths behind the 48. And looking at lap times right now, Stravado a little bit faster than Hayes, Wright a little bit slower than Stravado, maybe a minuscule amount compared to Hayes. And then Mahalski's kind of picked up the pace a little bit. He hasn't been as far off, and really the field very close. 56, a 48, a 43, and even Michael Stroll and Chris Samar not too far off the leader's lap times. Actually, a little bit faster than the leader's lap times. So this top 6 are very, very tightly together. I'll give them that. And Osmer about 2 seconds back, starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Massey. And like we said, we could be, 10, 11 laps away from some pit stops, at least short pitting. If we get a little bit more than that, then we'll have to see. But I'd be very curious to see. Very curious to see what can happen as this run goes on. And short pitting tends to be a death sentence here sometimes, and we'll have to see if it is. But I think if you're gonna stick it for the long haul and could help you into the race, will you be willing? Oh, yeah, that's a hard hit, and that's more than a Darlington stripe, I can tell you that. As he'll lose a spot to the 23 of Massey, and now it might lose another one to Caleb Weekly. But on the pit stop wise, do you want to long pit it and maybe save yourself or help yourself maybe later in this race?
It's very hard to say. I don't have a whole lot of experience on Darlington myself, but these drivers are putting together a great green flag run to start this race out. As now we see Weekly taking the inside of Ronnie Osmer, gets past him into the corner. Will he be able to hold it down off the wall? And he does.
Slide job there for Weekly on Osmer, and battle for the lead now. It's a 3-horse race. At the front, Hayes now looks Jeff Wright gets up into the outside wall just a little bit, but AJ Stravado has kept the fenders clean until right there he gets the wall, and now Wright will have a chance as he slows up in the dirty, or behind the dirty air of the 37, and now Hayes trying to take that line away, and Jace Coley, one of the lap cars in the Herbie machine, now going to get a little bit in the way of the leaders and now get out of the way. A kind gesture from Coley to let the top 3 go, but now top 3 under the blanket, and will we see the short pit matter, as Jeremiah Vincent going to be the first driver to bring it into pit road, and he will be substantially faster than everybody in the field, so it could work out. He might lead some laps once the cycle gets through, but we saw, I think me and you were broadcasting a championship race here for Goat Locker on a Friday night, and we saw, I think it was Jake Ham at the time, pit 15 laps later and fall down 15, 16 seconds and still run down the leader. And I think it's possible to go long here and set yourself up as Coley gets into the wall, and Mahalski's falling back to Michael Stroll in the 38 as Ronnie Osmer bringing it down pit lane. But Coley up into the wall again, and now Samard's going to have to avoid, and they'll all get through unscathed. But maybe I think going the long run here and going not as long as you can, because there's a point where you go too long, but go long enough that you'll help yourself later in this race. But I think you want to be on attack later in the run than be on defense.
Speaking of attack, Dallas Sullivan all over the back bumper of Bradley Cooper now. Saw that gap quite a bit bigger just a few laps ago. But Cooper and Sullivan both catching up to the back end of Dennis Faircloth in that 80, who has also gained a position since the last time we took a look. A little bit of contact for the wall there out of turn number 2 for 2 drivers. And Sullivan takes to the inside of Cooper, gets around him. Cooper have anything to answer with?
We thought about the crossover, just not going to have enough momentum, and Sullivan with a slide job move will actually move up his position, into 11th, and still stuck behind the 80. Dennis Faircloth, who's held on to that 10th place position most of this race, 9th place position at the moment, has really held on to that spot quite well, and really has been a roadblock, if you so will. And now drivers on fresher tires here getting their laps put down. Jeremiah Vincent a 30.4, 1.7 seconds faster than our top 3.
Let's take a look back up here at our top 3 as that gap remains about that 0.2 seconds. Separating all 3 drivers here, less than half a second. So now they're all over the back bumper of Alan Dice, who is threatened to go a lap down.
Oh, he's going to get the wall in front of Brody Hayes, who has to get out of the gas. And that might set up Wright and Stravado with at least somewhat momentum to maybe a pounce and get an attack and make a move into one. It doesn't look like he will be able to, but Dice really, really struggling in this race, falling a lap down, and now even more damage to that affinity for Danny Chevy Camaro. And on board, AJ Stravado, the sky does not look friendly. The sun has disappeared into the haze, no pun intended, has disappeared into the haze of the outside sunlight and more fog than it is nighttime here. The sun trying to peek through, but this track changing drastically throughout this race, and the question becomes now, you're going to split this race evenly into thirds. Do you pit here in another 2 or 3 laps? Is short pitting the way to go with how tight these three are?
You know, it all comes down to who's going to make the move first. If Jeff Wright was to pull down, yeah, exactly. If Jeff Wright is to pull down now, that kind of forces the hand of Brody Hayes and AJ Stravado, and even potentially Noah Mahalski, who's still sitting in 4th. But Mahalski will have that opportunity to see Wright take that down pit lane and follow suit. Stravado all over the back bumper now of Brody Hayes. He is not giving any sort of room.
Watch out for the lap car. There's 3. There's contact. And now here comes Wright to the bottom to pounce out of both of them. Kyle Payne getting into the way of the top 3 and almost causing the top 3 to wreck, but they somehow save it. And now Hayes had to do an immaculate save off of turn 2 as Stravado shoots to the inside now, having the preferred line into turn number 1, but he'll slide up as he uses the apron and he gets by Brody Hayes. And now here comes Jeff Wright to follow suit. Hayes going to be in a peculiar spot on the exit of the corner. Wright has to get out of the gas, and they get going once again, and the Italian Stallion moves up into 3rd, and here comes Jeff Wright to pit road. The only thing that might hurt him is Michael Jones is also coming to pit road. Wright gonna have to come in and slow down. Came in really hot and a whole lot of time actually given up to the 03 of Mahalski. As Wright comes in, Stravado and Hayes stay out, but how much longer will they stay out until they can answer the first shot that Jeff Wright has taken at these two?
It's got to be soon, as we saw Brody Hayes come off of turn number 2 there. Yep, tag the wall.
Goodness.
Michael Stroll's going to take the lead here for a lap or 2.
Look at Hayes able to gain a whole lot of time on Stravado, be right at his bumper at pit entry. So this will be up to the crews of the 37 and the 33. And remember, Hayes will have a straight shot. As soon as he drops the jack, he can just gas it and go. Keys of starting up front, I can tell you that, or at least in the front row, is the 23 of Massey stays on the racetrack. Stroll on the racetrack. Faircloth continues to stay on the racetrack. Cooper is still out on the racetrack. And, oh my, am I seeing this right? Jeff Wright is going to lose that time. Oh no, Jeff Wright's still out of pit road. My apologies. As he's actually behind Ronnie Osmer, and Noah Mahalski was actually the one that lost a lot of time. This will be interesting to see the race off of pit road, as it is tight between Hayes and Stravado, and there goes Jeff Wright just by both of them, but with a little bit older tires at least, and they'll come out right behind. But the thing for Jeff Wright is he'll have a little traffic to deal with that could help the 48, or excuse me, the 33 and the 37. As here comes Ray Massey, our leader, into pit road, and that leaves Dennis Faircloth into pit road now, and he will lead his lap as Michael Stroll just brought it down pit lane as well, pitting a little bit later. And yes, the cycle beginning to unfold and get done pretty quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. A lot of these drivers having excellent pit stops here. Can't see anybody picking up any black flags from those entrances and exits. Looks like everybody did it nice and clean on the green flag stop. Still have a couple more drivers to bring down pit lane here. Dennis Faircloth being one of them. Ray Massey, who is currently in his stall. Alan Dice still needs to come down pit road as well. Those are our last couple of drivers that need to visit.
Faircloth and Dice really hurting Stravado here on the exit, and that's going to give Hayes at least a shot at getting to the 33 of Stravado, but he stays behind, and now them 2.2 seconds behind Jeff Wright, and that is a dangerous thing to have happen early in this race.
Jeff Wright is a force to be reckoned with, and he's shown it with his 5 wins already on the season. Travato, Hayes need to start working together here. Instead of fighting each other, try to find that line that works best. Catch up to the 48 and make this another 3-horse race.
And there's the question. It's a long, long road, if you so will, to get up to the 48, who in the 33, who's trying to get by the lap car of Jace Cooley in the 65, and it just shows even the leaders having some trouble getting around these lap machines, and Hayes is going to get right behind Coley, and going to be in a awkward spot off of turn 2, a bad arrow spot at least, and Coley's going to just catch the wall off of 2, and that'll at least settle that battle out. But that time, Travato was able to take about 4/10 out of the gap of Jeff Wright, who's running down Ronnie Osmer, who's running down Dennis Faircloth, who just brought it to pit lane.
Back here a little bit further, taking a look at the 38 of Michael Stroll. He's got a battle forming with the 77 of Chris Samard. It's been creeping up lap after lap.
Absolutely, a little bit fresher tires than Samard does Stroll have on that 38 Chevy Camaro. 2 Chevys battling. This will be eventually for, this looks to be for the 6th position on the racetrack. These two about 1.4 seconds behind Noah Mahalski in the 03. Is Stroll going to have a run here? Samard not going to have as much of one off the outside lane, and now Samard will just let Stroll go by, and Stroll takes the position in the 5th. And how about I throw this out here? Michael Stroll pitted the latest of all of these drivers, and we'll see here as Wright will eventually, it looks like, get the lead here from Ronnie Osmer off of turn number 4, and this will be the first, or one of the first, I guess you should say the second lead change of the day, at least in terms of passing on the racetrack. Although Wright backs out of it, lets Osmer have the corner, and that I feel like might hurt Wright just a little bit, because that'll allow a whole lot of time to be gained between Travato and Hayes to run him down. Now Wright will go to the inside of Osmer, and I think it won't be much of a fight for the 20 to put up here as they go into turn 3, and Wright will scoot on by, and Osmer scoots back to 2nd. But that lap looked like a 6/7 difference, because Travato now only 1 second behind Jeff Wright.
As Travato was able to capitalize on that and gain quite a bit of ground on Jeff Wright, as Wright was working his way around the 20 machine. Brody Hayes there still in tow, but falling back slightly to the 33. Mahalski still up here in the top 5, followed by Stroll, Samard, Weekly, Massey, and Jeremiah Vincent in the 3 machine.
Now, here's the thing, too. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was going to bring it up to you. Look who the fastest race car on the racetrack is. It's Michael Stroll, and he has fresher tires than everybody ahead of him.
I have been very impressed by Stroll's pace so far this race. Not a name that we've seen a whole lot this season. Is this the first one for him this season?
No, I think it might be his second when we saw him in Vegas, and he was running inside the top 3, trying to save fuel. I think he ran out with just 2 or 3 to go, but we have seen Stroll at least one race, and I think it was at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, so I think he's running his 2nd race of the season, at least that I've been able to call. And another solid showing, and he looks like he has a top 5 car. He's just keep the pace under him here, keep the tires under him. He's got the tire advantage. It's just, can he run down the guys ahead of him? He's cut about 2 seconds out of Jeff Wright's lead that already had, but now there's some traffic that Stroll's running up into, and another big key in this race. Look at what just turned on the racetrack. Those are the lights, and this will cool down this track now as we're beginning to hit nightfall. The sun setting, or has set, and the track is cooling down a little bit. We start off at, 87? Now back down to 83.
That track temperature is going to be a huge factor here. It's on board right now with Stroll. You saw that gap close so fast back here to the back end of the 03 of Mahalski. Now has Dice in front of him, as well as, is that the 20 of Ronnie Osmer up there? Makes his way past. Go ahead, Alec.
No, sorry, he could set both of these guys up right here. He could pin Mahalski right behind the 20 here, and see here, it's going to get really tight. You got to be careful of that getting hooked in the outside wall, but a phenomenal move from Michael Stroll. That could be a huge difference maker if he can get by Osmer here in 3, because he won't have to lollygag behind these guys much long at all.
No, not at all, especially with that tire advantage.
He did it.
Stroll has a 10-lap tire advantage on, oh goodness, the Ronnie Osborne machine, the 20,
Yeah.
and a 2-lap advantage over Noah Mahalski. So it makes sense why he passed him like they were standing still there.
And I think the biggest thing out of that, right? And I don't know, it doesn't sound huge, but when you look at it and what could be the end of this run, Stroll was 3.7 seconds behind Jeff Wright. He had to pass 3 cars, and he only lost 0.2 in that entire lap, and he got by all 3 of those cars, and he's gotten that gap, he lost about 4 tenths. He's still at 3.9, fluctuating between 3.9 and 4, but that tire advantage, if he can use it to his advantage a little bit, save some tire here at the end of the run, he will be faster than Jeff Wright and AJ Stravado, especially of where they're at right now. They will be racing each other very soon. Even Brody Hayes as well, as we see Loveland getting by Jeremiah Vincent here for the 13th position on the racetrack. But Michael Stroll might have something to say at the end of this race if he doesn't over push these tires, keeps his tires under him here. He could be what we were talking about, being on the attack. He's got 2.5 seconds of clean air until he gets to the top 3, but that tire advantage might play in his favor later in this run.
It absolutely could, as AJ Stravado now is closing the gap up to the 48 of Jeff Wright. Brody Hayes still making ground as well. See if Stravado has anything up his sleeve for Wright in the next couple of laps as that gap continues to shrink.
We talk about the 1-lap tire advantage, right? Or Stroll having a 2-lap tire advantage. This is 1-lap difference between Jeff Wright and AJ Stravado. This could be interesting to see. Eventually, these tires will equal out between these top 3, but how long is it going to take? And can AJ Stravado capitalize and force Jeff Wright into, dare I say it, a mistake? Something we don't really see much out of Jeff Wright.
No, it's Darlington, though. Darlington can claim anybody at any time.
Sure can, and they don't call it the Lady in Black for no reason. Is they don't register in iRacing, but in real life they do. If you hit the wall, you get the black tire marks on the outside safer barrier. And right now, AJ Stravado, can he dig a little deeper and find a little more grip, being right tucked up behind the 48 of Jeff Wright, searching around for some grip, some clean air.
Stravado, a little bit of a connection issue there. Hopefully that does not persist through the rest of this race. Putting up a great fight up here in the top 5 the entire race so far. Let's take a look back through the field here. Ray Massey is caught up to Ronnie Osborne now, who we've seen in the wall a couple times. Massey should be able to get to the inside as he does take a look to the inside of the 20. Down into turn number 3. Holds it down, Osmer into the wall one more time, making a nice clean pass for Ray Massey here. Nothing to worry about.
He got by no problem, and now the top 3 still under a blanket. Brody Hayes now has really caught up to the top 2 of at least Jeff Wright and the top 2 of Jeff Wright and Stravado. It's just Stravado seems to be a little bit more just stuck in that air bubble, 1/2 tenths of a second. Can't get to the gas, slides around a little bit more, just not getting all the clean air to the nose that you would like. And as these guys battle, Stroll's cut about another second out of these top 3. Can't he cut another second or 2? If he cuts another 2, he'll be there, that's no doubt. But how much longer can they go in this run? What were we talking about? 45 laps the last pit cycle, so still another 20 laps to really reel in these guys.
And then on top of things, you have to think, do you want to try to split the remaining laps of this race in half? That'll give a driver a huge advantage on the tires, but it's very risky. You lose a lot of ground. That's a lot of ground you have to make up in just a few laps.
And specifically, if you have to split this race perfectly in thirds, we'll see these guys pit at about lap 90 most likely. You might see some do it. Jeff Wright, that's how his strategy is kind of set up to be, is Samard running down Noah Mahalski. Mahalski kind of faking high, then went low to cover off Samar, but he just might not have too much. He might not have enough ground to gain to really make a pass or at least go for a move here. Might have to set him up for turn 3 again, but big moment there. I don't know how they think that threw off Samar. That little bit of a sway move down the straightaway.
That could be part of the strategy too, as Mahalski barely into the wall there on the corner exit. Keeps the momentum to stay in front of the 77 for now. As Mahalski keeps it nice and low midway through that corner. It's not going to make this passing opportunity easy for Smart by any means.
And he goes just about, actually a little bit past halfway, would you say? And what has been a very eventful race, strategy field race, is one part bringing him again down pit road. I believe it is Ronnie Osmer in that strategy, just not seeming to work out for the 20 team. But great battles all around the racetrack, as you can see Noah Mahalski still trying to hold off Chris Samard. And you know, we're getting close to the second round of pit stops that will lead us to the end of this race. But as we are and past a little bit halfway, thought we go to a quick commercial break, take you side by side, and we'll be right back after that quick commercial break to go full screen into the live action here from the Darlington Raceway and the BTDY Throwback 180.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the nurturing reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today. Live here to the BTDY Throwback 180 from the Darlington Raceway. We come back live here and see Cody Atkins get his Darlington stripe here on that Michael Waltrip number 55 Throwback, and 78 laps of the 135 laps down. Jeff Wright still the leader over AJ Stavato, Brody Hayes, Michael Stroll, and Noah Mahalski. The top five here is
Logan, looks like Jeff Wright's starting to settle in again and pull away from the 33.
It sure seems like it for that 48 team, as all three of the top three drivers earning that Darlington stripe on corner entry there. Not a spot you typically see that. But not a whole lot of action happening in the meantime, other than Chris Smart all over the back bumper of the 03 of Mahalski. Got the 63 of Max Cost in the picture as well, hanging high and dry on the outside. Not a whole lot of room for him to go. Max one lap down at this point. Just trying to stay out of the way of these top contenders up here. Smart lost that ground to Mahalski, trying to navigate the 63. A little bit further back, Dennis Faircloth, during that commercial break, he claimed a position from Cody Adkins just moments before we came back. Nearing that top 10 once more, where he's been pretty consistent the entire time. A quick run through our top 10 here. We've got Jeff Wright, Stravato, Hayes, Stroll up in the top 4. Mahalski 5th, Samardin 6th, Massey, Weekly, Bradley Cooper, Dallas Sullivan. That is your top 10 at the moment.
How about old Bradley Cooper running in the 9th place position? He's been there solidly in there and doing a good job making the company proud, repping the VSPEED Chevrolet. And good to see Bradley race. You don't really ever get to see him race much. He's mostly in the booth, but when he does go and race, it's always a pleasure to see him.
It absolutely is. And, you know, the roles are really reversed here. Bradley Cooper's been the commentator and producer for multiple races that I've been in. It's about time that I get to call one that he's in.
I know, I think I've called him racing like once or twice, if I remember right. I can't remember where it was, but I did. And it's good to see him back, because how about this? Dennis Faircloth makes a pass on Dennis Faircloth. Oh, let me repeat that one more time. Dennis Faircloth makes a pass on Dallas Sullivan to get back into that top 10. A little bit fresher tires of the 28. Top 10 get by and now set sail in such a way here in the 10th. And we'll try to pull away from Dallas Sullivan, who's ahead of Cody Atkins and James Loveland and Justin Terry. These four are about the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. AJ Stravato is under pressure from Brody Hayes.
Take a moment real quick here just to look at that front right quarter panel of the Sullivan machine. All that damage there right in front of that front right wheel as he tags the wall again. Big hit, hit behind him as well for Loveland.
Yeah, well, there's more damage to both of them, and I'll tell you what, this battle for seconds really getting going. It's cost them 2.5 seconds, but Hayes able to get back around AJ Stravato, and that really is just giving Jeff Wright the all good and pull away button basically, and has moved that lead from about a quarter second to 2.5 or 2.25. So Stravato really struggling in this run to get going, and now Stroll starting to run these guys down.
Yeah, Stroll's got to be loving watching all the action here between Hayes and Stravato. This is allowing him to close that gap, where he's about 1.5 seconds back from these two. It's been closing quickly as Stravato's going to bring it down pit lane this time by.
A little bit earlier than we would maybe have thought, and that will be about 5 laps earlier than the first run that he did. And we're talking about everybody maybe pitting at about 90 or so, and looking like, even Michael Stroll joining the 33 of Stravato. So very interesting as well. But yeah, I think maybe this at least opens up, because you got to think you're not completely going even, I guess. Well, though from 190 you kind of are, at least at 135, from 90 to 135. So a little bit shorter than maybe we'd see most, and that was makes me think, when does Jeff Wright or Brody Hayes try to bring it into pit road? They continue to stay out on the racetrack, and Stroll, who was pitted the latest of everybody, will pit the earliest of most. So this will be interesting. And now what these guys can't afford is a caution coming out with them pitting so early.
And Stroll really flipped the script there on this stint. He was the longest standing driver on the first stint, and now one of the first ones to come down this time.
And he's still going to be behind AJ Stravato, but only about 1.2 seconds behind these guys. And yeah, he's doing a good job at least staying, in touch with the leaders. But these top two now, at least Hayes and Wright, just continue to do their thing. And what's funny is that AJ Stravato will in fact jump Jeff Wright, but the tire advantage is going to be pretty huge. It just depends where does AJ Stravado kind of shake out on track. He's going to come out and with some traffic ahead of him, so that'll hurt him a little bit in terms of lap time.
It will, but Stravado always great at navigating a lot of road course background for the 33 machine, so he knows how to make passes count when he needs to, as he's already diving to the inside of 63 max cost. Makes way of him very easily now on the hunt for, I believe that's the 23 there in front of him.
Yeah, oh, he's in the wall. Yeah, that was, wow. That could have been pretty bad if he had not kept it up there. Good job by Ray Massey, at least getting a little bit out of the way. And now he'll get out of the way for Stroll as Koss slams the outside wall there off of turn number 2. And right now, this lead that Jeff Wright has continues to grow almost to 3 seconds now. So I think Stravado might be the only guy that can really get, or at least contend, but the tire difference is going to be a big difference. And right now, Stravado 1.5 seconds faster, second and a half faster than AJ Stravado, or than Jeff Wright right now.
Caleb Weekly up here in the top 5. We touched base on the paint scheme of Weekly here. Let's get just a tad closer look here. Xbox Series X Black Rifle Coffee Company number 7. That's definitely different from what we typically see Weekly in, as he's going to bring it down pit road now.
Yeah, he's coming in, and we were talking to him earlier this year, kid. He played for a marching band, I can't remember where, at a college, and they ended up playing at a Green Bay Packers game not too long ago, earlier in the NFL season. So Caleb Weekly's been able to do some fun stuff, and got a good Xbox, what was he said, the X Series? Scheme?
Yeah.
It's nice, wow. It's nice. I like that scheme. It's definitely different. Obviously different from what we normally see in race. But I like it, and it's a good looking scheme. So maybe should maybe if he wanted to, it's up to him, obviously. But intertwine both of those schemes together, like half and half.
Oh, that'd be an interesting one. See the Xbox on the front half and his normal scheme on the back half.
Yeah, kind of cool. This Stravado, look at this. If you want to see a tire difference, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see it right here. Stravado gets by Samard, gets by Noah Mahalski, and pulls him a second off the exit of the corner.
With ease, I might add.
Brody Hayes now into pit road, and Jeff Wright into pit road.
That is a 34 lap tire difference between those drivers, so you know, it only makes sense.
Especially a track like this.
Absolutely, as Cody Atkins makes his, or sorry, Dallas Sullivan in that Lego machine makes his way back out onto the racetrack. Noah Mahalski assumes the lead for the time being. Samard in tow. Both drivers still need to come down pit road. The entire top 5, aside from Jeff Wright, now the top, as everything's getting shuffled around on the scoring and timing at this point. Our top 3 still need to come down pit road.
Yeah, the only guy that doesn't need to come down pit road again is Stravado, who's going to be going a long ways here on tires. He'll be going about, I don't know, 50 or so. They'll be longer than most guys we've seen all night. And Stroll, who pitted with them, only 1.3 seconds back, so that's not horrible. And they will have jumped Jeff Wright and Brody Hayes. So
Samard comes down pit road now. Merkloff has not come down pit road just yet.
I think it'll be a while until we see Dennis coming. I think we'll see him coming at about 100, if not 103-ish. Remember, he pitted earlier than everybody, or later than everybody else in the field, so he can kind of go a lot farther than everybody else here. We'll see how much farther he does decide to go, as Noah Mahalski still staying on the racetrack, now pitting. So I think we'd expect to see Fairclough pit in about a little bit less than 5, if not 5 laps. He'll get the lead. If he gets a caution now, Dennis Fairclough's sitting in the catbird seat.
He absolutely is, and a caution at this point is likely, having a mixture of the fresh tires and the old tires on the track. Even some mid-range tires. Ronnie Osmer, Jeremiah Benson, right around that 25 lap mark on these tires. The rest of the field, late stint runs at the moment or have just pitted. Kind of a mixture everywhere. Jeff Wright takes the 21 machine to the inside. It's back up to that high line through the corner. He'll get that drive off that he's looking for and some clean air on the nose of the 48.
There'll be no issue there. Behind him, Brody Hayes now getting by Ronnie Osmer as Carey just got passed by Jeff Wright, as you mentioned. And Hayes still about, I don't know, 2.5 seconds or a little bit further back than that. So he's going to need to find some sort of pace that he hasn't had to at least keep up with Jeff Wright. And Jeff Wright sitting 5 seconds behind Stroll and Travato, and they are going to have about 6 laps difference on tires. We'll see how much that'll matter as we go to the latter stages of this race.
Now, this has been a beautiful green flag run so far this race. Lap 1 to now the start of lap 98. Almost 100 laps of green flag runs so far, Alec.
It's been nice. It's good to see, and BTDY always putting on a good clean and green show, as they always have ever since I've been racing in it to broadcasting it. BTDY always puts on the most cleanest and mostly the best shows you can find. So awesome. It's an honor and a pleasure to call them every week. So it's good to sit up here with you in the booth to do it. And you know, we got a good one at least brewing here. What could be interesting, because Jeff Wright's got some traffic to get through to get to these top 4, or these will be the top 2. Stroll's doing a good job keeping up with Travato here. So, you know, you never know what can happen as we go later into this race. Dennis Fairclough has yet to bring it down pit road. We assume he'll bring it down pretty soon. And we'll have to see, is Dice going to get out of the way for Travato. And we see up ahead of Jeff Wright, you see 3 cars. Those are all lap cars. And then just going into turn 1, you can see the little speck. That's Michael Stroll. And then a little bit up ahead, it's AJ Travato. So there's still a long ways to go, but Jeff Wright has 35 laps to go and do it.
Ooh, Dallas Sullivan, big time into the wall right in front of Bradley Cooper and James Loveland. Cooper, a fantastic job to avoid that.
Oh, he's going to have to avoid another one, because Dice just got up into the outside wall and almost got into his right front. Fairclough finally brings it down pit lane, and that will move Travato back to the lead. We'll take a look at our VSPEED instant replay to see what happened to Dallas Sullivan. Maybe he got on that seam. Oh yeah, got on the seam, got into the marbles, and popped the wall. And a hard hit. And, those marbles seem to be coming into play a lot more than we're really used to.
Go ahead and take a look and see the avoidance here of Alan Dice as he tagged the wall just slightly in front of Cooper as well. Fantastic job by the 5 driver.
Good miss. And like we said, Jeff Wright finally reeling up, and there's Dallas Sullivan, who we just saw get up into the outside wall. Now Jeff Wright is going to have to navigate through at least him, then get by Loveland, then get by Cooper. So there's still a little bit of ways to go, and we just wonder if these lap cars hold him up any bit. That just buys a little more time for AJ Travato and Michael Stroll. And at a certain point, how much more will their tires equal out?
That is the question at hand, and Ronnie Osmer has come down pit lane one more time for another set of tires. That'll be his last set for the race. He's gonna have to watch it to the end. The rest of these drivers have still one more set to go.
Talking about a driver that doesn't need a caution. Ronnie Osmer doesn't need it. He's trapped multiple laps down now and doesn't have any more tires left. So he is in a tough predicament for the rest of this race if we get a caution here, as Jeff Wright gets by the lap machine of Sullivan. And you know, he's got a little bit of ways to go, but 3 seconds the difference to get to Travato, and he still has to get by Stroll as well.
Again, I just have to touch on Stroll's pace that he's shown all race. He's not going to be an easy pass by any means for any of these drivers, unless the tire fall off just ends up being too much to handle. He's got a 7-lap difference between 2nd and 3rd place right now on those tires.
So he does. We'll have to see. Cooper has a little bit fresher tires in the top 2. And maybe even James Loveland has a little bit fresher tires in the top 2. And these guys are going to be going faster than the leaders, but not as fast as Jeff Wright. Dallas Sullivan just slammed the outside wall again and really got into it good. And he is really starting to struggle. But the lap cars might play a factor here. And if they race the top 2, which they have every right to as well, because they are trying to not be, or they're at least trying not to be on the lead lap in case or trying to be on the lead lap in case a caution comes out. Because even if you are the lucky dog, which Bradley Cooper is, caution comes out, you still start at the tail end of the field. So get by these leaders, get back on the lead lap, you're golden.
And that is the goal for the 5 machine at the moment. It's not going to be an easy task at hand by any means.
And as this is happening, Stroll is reeling in Stravato, and Wright is reeling in both of them. But Wright has 4 cars to get through, but that tire advantage could help.
I would have to say that tire advantage absolutely will help. As you know, being at Darlington in a short track like this, it's a huge advantage every lap that you can have differentiating between you and the other drivers. If that's even a word, I'm not entirely positive, but I said it, so it is.
Yeah, Cooper's closed up to the back of Stroll. Loveland's closed up to the back of Cooper. And Stroll's closed up to the back of Stravato. And behind all of them, Wright is closing up to both of them. So we'll have to see Samard and Mahowski just got their battle going. I think Mahowski just took that position away for 5th. And now Jeff Wright, can he surgically get through these 2 lap cars and 2 lead lap cars? Loveland now going to fight him because they know if Wright gets by, takes the air away from Cooper, and that just let Wright go right by them. And with ease, Jeff Wright gets by both of the lap cars and now has the 2 lead lap cars in his sight with less than 20 laps to go, or still with 20 laps to go. Oh, and now Stroll's in the wall. Now Wright's in the wall. They both got the wall. It seemed to slow both of them down, though.
Loveland takes a look to the inside of Cooper here. He's going to have that preferred line, but is he going to be able to hold it off of the driver door? The 5, he does.
He does, and there goes Jeff Wright by Stroll for 2nd, and now separating between Wright and Stravato, and the lap car of Cost is right in front of Stravato, going to hurt his corner exit here and give him some dirty air. And we'll see as they go into turn 3. It looks like Cost will at least try to stay out of the way, and that'll give AJ Stravato at least one less time to worry about Wright, who will have a huge advantage in terms of tire. And here comes Wright looking to the inside. Stroll under pressure from Cooper, who's under pressure from Loveland, and now Stravato, who's under pressure from Wright. And this is going to be for the race win with now 25 laps to go at Darlington.
Shaping up to be a fantastic ending to this race, Alec.
I don't know if we're going to have much to go here. Oh, Wright catches the wall off of turn number 2. Doesn't seem to impede his progress on the leader of Stravato. Now Wright goes up even higher, trying to get momentum to the outside. He takes the side force away, but has to get out of the gas of the marbles. Now has the preferred line. Contact made between the top 2 and the lappers. Still side by side. Into turn number 1 they go. Stravato lifts on the gas, and Wright muscles his way through into the lead.
What a sequence there for Jeff Wright. That's everything that he needed to happen, and it happened in his favor. Jeff Wright assumes the lead once more.
That was really gutsy by Jeff Wright to send it in like he did on the outside, but he made it stick. And that might be all she wrote in terms of for the win. And now Brody Hayes has a chance to get up and pick his way through all the mess that's been left for him. And with the same tires that Jeff Wright has, he's actually cut a 2nd down from them. But he's still got to get through Stroll, Stravato, Cooper, and Loveland. And Stroll really starting to struggle now as he's under pressure from the lap car of Cooper, or excuse me, of Loveland.
And Cooper finally got some separation from the 0-2 of Loveland. He's sticking right there on the back end of AJ Stravato. But Alec, you know, one thing I'm noticing here, we don't have a whole lot of picks in the chat for our favorite paint scheme of the night.
Well, we're going to have to get some people to at least vote on what they think their favorite scheme is, and a lot of good paint schemes to vote for here tonight, and a lot of good throwbacks to go through here as this evening continues. And remember, you can vote in the chat on what you think the best throwback paint scheme is. And I think we'll have to start off with at least Michael Stroll all the way to Ray Massey, to Caleb Weekly, and then to Dennis Fairclough. Justin Carey has a good one. Dallas Sullivan obviously has a good one. And there goes Stroll, at least by Hayes by Stroll. And then, oh, contact for 2nd. Stravato gets moved into the wall by Bradley Cooper. And Cooper goes by as well as Loveland. And now some damage to the 33 of Stravato.
And that puts Stravato back into the clutches of the 37 of Brody Hayes.
And we'll see if Stravato, how much if we move the deck lid or move the spoiler at least and hurt the aero of the 33 car. Bradley Cooper having none of it, being right behind Stravato trying to at least get back on the lead lap, or at least stay the first car a lap down, had to move. And I think the 33, actually, I should say, had to move, and Bradley Cooper made sure that happened. And behind them, Dennis Fairclough, who will eventually, without a doubt, pass all of these cars because he's got 10 lap fresher tires than anybody else in the field.
Fairclough is going to have a huge advantage whenever it comes to that, but being a lap down, he needs a caution to happen if he wants a chance at winning this race here tonight.
He does. Brody Hayes just gave the bumper to AJ Stravato, and I think Stravato's going to like that after what just happened. So we'll have to see this battle for second. And remember, right, hoping for a no caution. A lot of guys hoping for no caution as Stravato gets the outside wall. Hayes now shoots to the outside. Stravato tries to squeeze him up into the wall. Can Hayes try to do the crossover? Will he carry momentum to the outside? He does. Pinches Stravato. They almost make contact off of 2, and now here we go again, side by side into turn 1. Everybody behind them better watch out. It's going to get tight into 1. Stravato bottom. Hayes to the outside, rolls around the 33. Can he clear him? Yes, he can. Hayes up to second, Stravato down to third, and here comes Stroll as they both get the wall off of 4. Fairclough has to miss both of them.
I don't know about you, Alec. I am finding myself on the edge of my seat watching all of this unfold.
Oh, yeah.
Stravato falling all the way back to third now. Stroll right there all over him as well.
And Fairclough threaded the needle to get by both of them, just finally cleared Stravato. And how about this? Michael Stroll looking for his podium in his second start as they both get the wall off of 2. And can Stroll put any more pressure on AJ Stravato to get that third spot away as Stravato sliding into the corner? Alan Dice behind them, just trying to be courteous and let these guys battle. Only 15 laps to go now.
It's being the most heated portion of this race so far up here in the top 5. We've seen battles all night long, but none quite as tight as this. Controversy with lap traffic, but man, it is all out up here.
Sure is. Good racing all around as Stravato continues to try to hold on and at least hold off Michael Stroll in the 38 car, who's been doing a heck of a job in running himself up here in the top 5, although that time he gets the wall right in front of Dice, and he's going to lose some time to the 33. Oh, we got it again.
Stroll's chances of that podium falling ever so slightly. But all it takes is one mistake from one of these top 3 drivers before he throws his name back in the hat. Right now, still looking at Dennis Fairclough up here all over the 37. Brody Hayes trying to make his way back up there in case a caution does come out. Put himself back up on the lead lap. Alec, would you believe me that we only have 8 cars on the lead lap currently?
Well, with Jeff Wright leading, I could. It's not far-fetched. Shows the dominance that Jeff Wright has, and just on another level, a Max Verstappen-like level here so far throughout this season. He's going to, if he could pull this off, go 6 for the first 8 and just continue pure dominance throughout the BTDY Racing Series. Is his Hatchell scheme, but Dennis Fairclough gets by Hayes here for second, or well, trying to at least get back on the lead lap. This time he gets the wall.
Stravato in the wall as well. That'll allow Stroll to catch back up here. He closed that gap quickly. Like I said, one mistake is all it takes here at Darlington. AJ Stravato made that mistake there and allowing the 38 machine to catch back up. We might see more of a heated battle for the 3rd place finishing position than we do the 1st place, as Jeff Wright has almost a 5-second lead on 2nd place Brody Hayes.
Yeah, and he's continuing to just do what he does best and dominate here tonight at the Darlington Raceway. But this battle for 3rd continuing to heat up as Stroll continues to try to run down Stravato, and we know their tires are really old. 38 laps, and they still got a little bit more to go. We're looking at almost 50 laps for these drivers to run here, as 10 laps to go here. So they'll hit about 48 more laps than they ran, or most have ran all night, maybe other than Dennis Fairclough. Can Stroll put enough pressure on Stravato to make a mistake? He's going to try, I tell you that.
I mean, you might as well. You're league rookie, you gotta send it, man.
Yeah. And Alan Dice trying to be courteous, let these two battle it out. Doesn't want to get caught up in a wreck if these two get together, but he's at least being courteous. I think once they settle it out, he might get by both of them, but he's trying his best.
And Dice does have much fresher tires. It's about half the length on those tires as the two ahead of him. Being, like you said, very courteous to let these two battle it out and not force the issue by any means. Willing to be there to take advantage if these two do make contact together, get himself around it, hopefully cleanly.
Well, hopefully we can. Hopefully these two don't get together and end the streak of great long-run racing that we've seen as Faircloth finally got by Loveland, and now Faircloth will set his sight on the 5 of Bradley Cooper and Caleb Weekly, still on the lead lap, close to falling a lap behind. Still got about a set of corners to go as Travato gets the wall again, and really Cooper has lost touch with Wright, who's about 4 seconds up the road from him, 5 seconds up the road for Weekly to get to Weekly, so maybe even a quarter straightaway left. So if a caution comes out, Weekly's safe, but Dennis Faircloth and Bradley Cooper are not, as Alan Dice gets by Michael Stroll here, and we'll really have to see what happens here.
Chris Samard, he's catching up to Noah Mahalski in the 03 machine, a little over half a second separating those two. That's for the 5th and 6th place position there. One car between them, the 21 of Justin Carey in that Reese's machine. Reese's? I don't know. I've always said it Reese's my entire life.
Reese's. I don't know. Stroll just got the wall hard this time, and he was voicing his displeasure with Alan Dice, trying to let him go. Dice was hesitant, didn't think about doing it. Now he finally did, and then Stroll just got the ball being behind him. So we'll have to see what happens if Stroll can reel back in Travato, who now has a second gap over the 38, and this now becoming the closest battle on the racetrack. Samard, as Faircloth just got by Cooper and now will now be the first car 1 lap down if we somehow get a caution within the final 5 laps of this race here. And what a great race it's been, even though a dominating performance by Jeff Wright after the first second pit stop. But man, good racing all around.
Fantastic racing all around. Can't complain whatsoever with 130 green flag laps so far. This crew out here tonight looking to make 135.
Yeah, they got about 5 more laps to do it as Jeff Wright will come across the line, and he'll see a handful of laps left. And, well, again, no surprise. 6 wins in the first 8 races, kind of what we expected. And the question becomes this season, is anybody going to be able to rise to the occasion and dethrone Jeff Wright into the chase or even before the chase?
It's going to be a tall ask to make that happen. 6 wins, 5 in the first half of the season. It's a very tough thing to say that anybody really has anything whenever it comes to the regular season points. Now, granted, everything comes down to the postseason around here. That's what matters most whenever it comes to these points and taking home that championship. Jeff Wright's going to go into the postseason with a great head start with all of these wins, all those bonus points that he's collected so far. But it is anybody's ball game in the championship portion of the season. I'd say we'll see a lot of these drivers come out here and just start throwing haymakers everywhere.
And all it takes is one, just kind of like baseball. You get a team that gets hot, and they can carry it into the postseason. We'll see if anybody can get some momentum into the postseason other than Jeff Wright and rival him for a championship. Obviously, the driver who was second in points, not here tonight, Keith Mayato, but the driver in third in points is going to finish at this moment looking to be third. This battle right here, 5th and 6th on the racetrack currently. Noah Mahalski, the pole sitter, started on the pole, looked like a promising day. He didn't even lead a lap here tonight. Or actually, he might have led one on the pit cycle, but starting off on the pole, wasn't able to lead the first lap. And normally we see the pole sitter always lead the first lap, but this time just wasn't able to do it. And he is struggling, and this could be a pivotal moment, although it won't really matter, as through turns 3 and 4, no caution will come out, so a caution-free race looks to be the case here tonight, as white flag in the air, 1.3 miles to go for Jeff Wright, who's just seemingly dominated this season looking for win number 6 in the first 8 races as he closes up to the back of the field to Caleb Weekly. I'm sure it'd look cool on the box score to get one more car lap down, but I think right here we'll see him back it off, let Weekly complete another lap, and they will call it there. As off of turn 4, the lady in black has been tamed once again, and Jeff Wright will come off of 4 to win race number 6 of the season, 2 in a row, and he does it at Darlington. Brody Hayes comes across the line in second. AJ Stravato holds on Stroll for third, and Stroll comes home across the line fourth. The battle behind them, Mahalski and Samar come home 5th and 6th. Ray Massey quietly going to get 7th. Back-to-back good finishes for the 2013. Caleb Weekly, another good finish for him. He'll come home in 8th. And Faircloth finishes first car lap down in 9th with Bradley Cooper in 10th. And what a great season that we had. And what a great race we've had here tonight. And so far, a really good season and a great entertainment. And what a surprise, another win for Jeff Wright. 62 laps led as he starts 4th, has his fastest lap of the race. And I don't know, Logan, this man becoming unstoppable.
It sure seems like it. To claim 6 wins so far in the season, it's lining up to be the season for Jeff Wright here in the 48 team.
It sure is, and we'll pull him in shortly as he does a burnout for the Darlington Raceway fans, the virtual Darlington Raceway fans, and we'll be right back after a quick commercial break to talk to the top 3 to get them cooled down and talk to us. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break, and we'll talk to the top 3.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And we're back here at Darlington. Post race coverage coming at you. Alec, what a fantastic race we had here tonight. Let's take a look at our results and see how it all went down for everybody.
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
we saw Jeff Wright take home the victory here tonight after 10 lead changes. 135 laps, clean and green, no cautions here tonight. Brody Hayes will take home the second spot, followed up by AJ Stravato being your top three. Michael Stroll put on one heck of an effort here tonight. Fantastic pace from the 38 machine, coming home in fourth, followed up by Noah Mahalski in the 03. Chris Smart in the 77 will take home the sixth position, followed up by Ray Massey in the 23. Caleb Weekly in the 7 will take home the eighth spot for tonight. That will leave Dennis Faircloth behind him in the 80 machine in ninth, followed up by VSPEED's very own Bradley Cooper in the 5.
Yes, sir. And 11th was James Loveland. 12th was Justin Carey. 13th, Ronnie Osmer. 14th, Dallas Sullivan. 15th was Cody Atkins. And 16th, Jeremiah Vincent. Followed by Alan Dice in 17th, with the 18th belonging to Max Cost. Chase Coley was 19th, and Kyle Payne was 20th. And then I'll just finish out here the field. Michael Jones, 21st. Todd Giles Jr. was 22nd. Zach Smith in 23rd. And the 79, Jordan Traz, did not take a single lap to start, but did at least put down some practice laps, so he does get credited with starting the race. Doesn't get a lap completed, but he rounds out the field in 24th. And while we're at that, let's move up to our third place finisher on the night. Go with AJ Stravato, the Italian stallion. AJ, Alec, and Logan in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
Well, it looked promising. You had a good long run pace, at least in that first one. The second run just lost the track position to Jeff and Bradley, or excuse me, and Brody. Was that the difference there to at least maybe winning this race?
Yeah, it pretty much was. I was saying it. I was just talking with Jeff, and I was actually with a couple road buddies having them watch the race, and I was saying in my head, lap 45 is like the sweet spot to pit. As soon as we pit, like got by Brody and Jeff through that long green flag run and saving tires. Saw Jeff pit behind me, and I literally said, I was like, Jeff just won the race. Like he pit on the magic number. I was thinking, wanted to stretch it one or two laps longer to see make it a little bit more even balance, but Jeff just did a really good job managing his stuff. Once I got back to him, even with the lap tire advantage, just dirty air is a bitch here, so couldn't really do much. So I tried, but Jeff's too good here, so or just in general here with this car, so gave it a good shot.
Yes, sir. And I know for you, it's more road week. It's we're out to Daytona, I believe, this week. 24 hours Daytona. Look forward to racing with you this weekend, and it's good to have you here, and it's good to be talking with you again. And next week, obviously Jeff he's on it, but next week at a short track at Martinsville. How do you feel about going out there and trying to get another win and close that points gap up and get some bonus points for the chase?
I'm looking forward to trying to finish second. Let's put it that way.
Well, we appreciate your time, AJ. Is anybody you want to give a shout out to here for this finish tonight?
Just my road team, Project Valorous, Nexus Esports, my road team, and Jeff for just honestly whooping our ass every week. It's a pleasure to learn from him, and a bit humbling to lose to him all the time. So appreciate him and all this talent he has.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, AJ. And again, we thank you for talking to us. And we look forward to talking to you next week at Martinsville, and look forward to racing with you this weekend at Daytona.
Looking forward to it, bro. Let's get a win this weekend.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you very much, brother. And that's AJ Servato, the third place finisher into tonight's race. We'll move up to our second place finisher, Brody Hayes, where I believe Logan is standing with him.
Yeah, we've got Brody Hayes down here on the podium, second place. Started out here in second, had 44 laps led. Brody, fantastic effort here tonight. Saw you doing really well in practice. It sure seemed to carry over greatly into the race. What more did you need to make this a win here tonight instead of a second place finish, Brody?
Yeah, I needed that 48 car to get DQ'd in post-race inspection or even before the race. No, I don't know. I haven't figured this car out yet. I mean, it's a fun car to drive. I can't ever keep the right front on this thing. And Jeff is a master at saving tires with this thing. So I mean, it's just gonna be a process to keep learning this thing. But I know I'm proud of the solid top five. Led some laps, and we had good speed. We just kind of keep getting better.
Absolutely. The speed sure did show out here on the track tonight. And, we're coming up on Martinsville next week. We go from a short track to an even shorter track. We go to the paperclip. How are you feeling about this race next week?
Martinsville's fun. Um, I like it. It reminds me of the old grassroots racing I grew up watching and helping in up in Cheese State, Wisconsin. So it's gonna be fun. I'm sure. You know, I'm doubtful it's gonna go green the whole time like we have the past 2 weeks. But it's gonna be exciting. I hope we can get some long green flag runs, have some tire fall off. Um, and get some good racing in. And but we'll see.
I'm sure we'll see something spectacular happen next week, whether it's another long green flag run the entire race or a controversial finish for something. We'll just have to see whenever we get back to it next Tuesday night. But Brody, fantastic race here tonight. Anybody you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, obviously I'd like to give a shout out to Seth Hatchell. Thoughts and prayers are with him. I know he's got a tough battle ahead of him, but the whole VSPEED BTDY community, everybody's here for him. So nothing but the best thoughts for him. And I really could use his fuel strategy back in these races. So we're missing that. But and shout out to you guys in the booth and everybody at BTDY for everything they do and for putting this on. So we look forward to getting back at it next week.
Absolutely do. Brody, thank you for your time, buddy, and we will see you at Martinsville.
Yep, thank you guys.
That'll lead us right into our first place finisher, who Alec is now standing by with in the winner's circle.
I am Jeff Wright, buddy. Alec and Logan, the VC booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, man, congratulations. Win number 6 in the first 8 races. Tell us, man, how about this run that you're on and what you've been able to do here just to begin this season?
Yeah, we've been on a really good start to the season. Obviously, this car has really clicked for me lately, and I feel like I'm got the most amount of confidence I've ever had right now, at least in this B car. So I'm really having a lot of fun driving this thing, and even learning things this year too, just about preserving tires and learning to pace myself. I think that's really become a big thing of focus for me is to just be there at the end, right? Be there when it counts. Don't do anything too crazy early. Just give myself a shot to do something at the end of the race. And thankfully, we've been in it, and had opportunities to close. And tonight we had green flag pit stops, which I feel super great, and where I feel like I can gain time on my competitors. And it just all came together. It all worked out. It's been just a really fun season, man. I'm excited to keep this thing going, and I don't know if there is a record, but for wins in a BTDY season, but I feel like we might have a good chance at doing just that.
Yeah, I think you do, and I will figure that one out. I think it's possibly in the high singles, if not low doubles. I think there's a good chance you might break that this year, buddy. Well, we appreciate your time, and I want to ask you next week. You've won 2 in a row. You were a chance to win 3 in a row earlier this season. Didn't have the greatest race, but next week at Martinsville, how do you feel about going out there for win number 7, and of course going for 3 in a row?
Yeah, Martinsville, it's a fun racetrack, but it's difficult. There can be a lot that's out of your control there. One thing that you can control is your qualifying effort, and we got to go there and we got to hit our marks there and get a really good Q lap. We got to be able to start up front to not only have a chance at the win, but just stay out of trouble points wise. Martinsville just gets, it can be a cluster. It can get chaotic, and it's super easy to get damage, and it's super easy to have your night ended very quickly. So that's another race of attrition. It's going to be a race sort of like this where you just got to survive at least that first half, and then maybe go race for it at the end. But it's a fun racetrack. I enjoy it. It's certainly going to be a challenge. Going for 3 in a row is going to be tough, but I feel like if we can get a good qualifying effort, that we could have a chance to do just that. But man, I know these guys here, they're hungry to get wins too. And I know Bailey wasn't here tonight. Bailey Turner, that is. He's a Martinsville specialist. So I'm going to guess he's going to be in the field next week. And if he is, he's going to be somebody to look out for and somebody that we're going to have to try to go out and beat.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Jeff. Again, congratulations on the win. And anybody you want to give a shout out to here tonight for this win and this season that's been going on?
Yeah, first I just want to give a shout out to the Seth Hatchell family. You know, everybody, in his family, people, organizing things to raise money for him. It's just awesome to see the amount of growth that that GoFundMe linked below here in our description of the video has been able to get. So just, shout out to them, letting them know that our thoughts and prayers are with them. And, this Thursday got a big event. I'm sure you guys have been promoting. So hopefully everybody comes out Thursday to show their support for Seth. Yeah, he deserves it, man. I wish he was out here too, but I really want him to get better. This was a track that he has owned for several seasons of BTDY. Every time we come here, he was the guy to beat. So yeah, just thoughts and prayers with them, and hope to see him better soon.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate your time, Jeff, and I'm sure Seth appreciates the kind words. And again, congratulations here tonight on the win, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week at Martinsville.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jeff. And that is your race winner here tonight. And of course, a shout out again to Seth Hatchell. And we know he's fighting through a lot, but we are here. Everybody at BTDY here at VSPEED, we're alongside him in the fight, and we support him. And BTDY it's kind of not the same without Seth Hatchell in the field. So we miss you, bud, and we are looking forward to seeing you on the track soon. But we're all there with you. And for all the sponsors tonight, Affinity for Gaming, Sailor Tarot Magic, KHIO, Martin Sports, and Up There Disc Golf here, and everybody at BTDY, from all the admins to everybody that makes this league run, and for everybody here at VSPEED. We hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage here. I'm Alec Martinez, and joining me, of course, as always, Logan Thurkeld in the booth. Logan, thank you for everything that you've done this season and for everything that's going to happen next weekend this upcoming week on Thursday night. So for those that can participate, we look forward to it and just to spread the good word. Anything you want to add to that there, Logan, or add on here in our closing thoughts?
Man, Alec, I just want to say that was a fantastic race. I can't hit on it enough that 135 green flag laps at Darlington is no easy task whatsoever. But all these drivers here in BTDY made it look easy tonight. They handled the race car so well. We're looking forward to next week at Martinsville, but please do not forget to join us this Thursday as we do host the Race for 8. That'll be our very first fundraising race of 2025, like Jeff had mentioned, benefiting the BTDY two-time champion Seth Hatchell in his battle against cancer. So please join us for that this Thursday. Looking forward to being there for that. A lot of these BTDY drivers have joined the field to support their fellow racer, teammate. It means a lot to all of us here at VSPEED. We hope to see you there as well as next week at Martinsville.
For sure. And like you said, we look forward to seeing everybody tune in once again at the Martinsville Speedway next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday night here for a little bit of short track racing on a Tuesday night. But until then, everybody have a phenomenal week. Have a great evening. And we'll see you from the Paperclip in Martinsville, Virginia.